live? Yeah, we're live. Cool. Let's get this thing going here just a second. Just making a couple adjustments to my settings here. Alright, that. Just need my info for the stream real quick. Okay, so let's save these changes. Let's make it public, and let's announce this thing, huh? All right, so yeah, let's share it. I'm gonna share it. Publish. All right, so now I've got this going here. Let's get moving. Okay, so I had tried streaming earlier. My resolution was a little wonky. It wasn't letting me continue to stream properly, so I figured I would go ahead and kill that stream and start over. So here we are. Let's get chat pulled up so I can see if you guys are talking to me. Tell you what, man. All these tools are supposed to make our lives easier, just wind up making us even crazier. Okay, here we go. Finally. Now I've got it connected. Alright. So, as I was saying, jack irons. This is going to be for jack irons. I've got a poll going on Twitter right now, just like I did a couple days ago. Basically what I'm doing is trying to promote, the different books in Comicsgate and affiliated indie books and such by doing sketch cards. But at the same time, I'm also trying to grow my channel. Hey Humphrey, how's it going? DJ, what's going on, man? So yeah, that's the tick. I was doing some sketching. Actually, that's the sketch card here. I was doing some mock-ups for the tick. Actually, let me go back real quick. There's the tick face. So I'm basically going to be doing the same thing I did here, where I went through and tried a couple different layout ideas, trying to figure out how I wanted the page to look, and then finally settled on that design, which is what gave birth to that card there. Now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with jack irons. I took a look at their first book. I actually backed them earlier today, or last night rather, and trying to get an idea for a layout that I can use for theirs. The Twitter poll's still going. They may get beat out by I think Graveyard Shift has a pretty close following behind them, but not sure yet. We'll see what happens there. Let's kill my audio here. Hey Ward. Yeah, the tick. And then, if you guys aren't familiar with Sporkman, Sporkman's a cool hero that I found through Twitter. And, the tick, his whole thing being spoon, 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 I figured you might as well throw a Sporkman in there just to throw a little confusion into the tick's life. Okay, so jack irons. Let's, first thing I need to do is get some of these guys drawn out real quick. Let me find a blank page I can work with. Let's see. Hit my camera with my sketch pad. Awesome. So I am on call at the moment, for work, so if something happens and I have to bail immediately, it's because somebody broke something on the network. So in the meantime, I'm going to be the Maytag man, just sitting here waiting for something to happen while I draw. So I like to do this even with just mocking up my pages for comics and stuff when I'm trying to figure out the design I want to use and do my page layouts. I like to use small little pages like this. Some people even go even smaller. I think I remember seeing a page from Mike Miller where it was like the entire comic book on a sheet of 8.5 by 11, or something crazy like that. But I've been thinking about comics quite a bit lately, and I've kind of, that whole midlife crisis thing where you've been in a career for a long time. I've been with the company I've been with for, nearly a decade, and these old habits have started coming back for drawing and everything, and I'm like, well, you know what? I think I want to get published again. So I want to actually get a full book out finally, and so what I'm doing with a lot of the stuff, is practice, getting myself back into the habit of drawing, improving skills, working on anatomy, all that good stuff. And then, over time, I'll be able to start developing the book I want to do. And I've got a couple concepts that I've been working through. I don't have anything set in stone yet, but I have a couple ideas that I'd like to try to attack. There's a character I created in the 90s that is kind of a rip-off of a bunch of different characters, but he's my guy. I'd kind of like to see him come to life. But I've been brainstorming with a few friends of mine for some other stuff too. Hey, Greg. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah. So jack irons. Actually, I'm just going to throw these on here too, since they're not in the way. You guys can see these while I'm doing something here. It's really hard to sometimes get an idea for a character when he's not yours. I've got the first book, and this is really all I've seen of him. And he put a hole through a guy pretty quick. So there's not a whole lot to it that I can see here. I'm going to have to really dig in, I think, and he's got a big, tough cowboy dude with looks like he's got cyborg arms and stuff. Actually, I can't tell for sure if they're just wrapped or if he's actually got like robot arms. Color would definitely help. Let's see. Sorry, I'm on my computer right now scrolling through photos. Yeah, it looks like he's got metal in his arms. It's hard to tell for sure, though. See what I need with the jack irons guys here. They could tell me. It'd sort me out quick. Oh well, we'll just go for it. Looks like he's banded. It could be metal. Yeah, alright. It looks like it's scrap metal, wrapped around his body. I think that's pretty much it, Warren. It's just small pieces of art to hand out and, easy to give away. I like them just because, they are small. So you're able to do a quick picture. It can be a finished little piece. It doesn't take you too long, and it can be collectible, and it's kind of a novelty item. I've got a good friend of mine. He did an entire book using these cards. If you're familiar with Dan Fraga, his channel is Couch Doodles. He did one picture a day for an entire year, and it was a book that he called The Grave. And it told the story of these kids that find a grave, and then it tells the backstory of the kid or the person that the grave belonged to. And it's a really cool story. but he did like a mixed media, mostly I think ink and like wash type stuff on it, and it was amazing. It came out really really good, and he's going to be published through IDW pretty soon. I think it might be posted on Amazon already. But yeah, it's a cool looking book. But I got inspired by it. I was talking to him about the cards and stuff, and he told me where he got his materials. And unfortunately, that place doesn't carry them anymore. So I found these cards on eBay, and I thought, it'd be a great way for me to do a couple little pieces of a bunch of various characters and give an opportunity to get my art out to people and give this stuff away. So as soon as I hit 100 subs, I'm gonna allow. I don't know. Maybe I'll just let all the cards. I don't know quite yet. But what I'd like to do is just make sure that everybody that comes in has a chance to win something. So as soon as I hit 100 subs, I'm going to do a giveaway, and I am going to kill my notifications here. 1 second. Don't need my phone interrupting the stream here. There we go. So I've got two different mounts here, and I'm not sure which one I like better. Looks like autofocus is on again. Dang it. I tried to kill that. Let's see if we can kill autofocus real quick. It doesn't look like it. Alright. You'll just have to bear with me here. Alright, so we got 6 people watching now. That's probably the most I've had already. Okay, so now everything is shaking like crazy. Let's see. So Jack Iron's a big dude. He's got some monstrous arms. And revolvers, it looks like. Let's see. Yeah, those are cool looking guns. I wish there was an easier way for me to flip back and forth between the screen and this. I'll have to start using like a better studio setup, but for now I'm just got my phone up here. When I do digital, I'm able to switch back and forth between the different screens and stuff, but here I'm pretty much at the mercy of whatever my phone will do for me. Let's see. I've still got my tools in my other bag. 1 second. Bag's falling apart. Okay. Score. There we go. Alright, let's get started. So, I need kind of a cool action scene for this guy. And my neighbor's going to be loud. I might have to close my window. Let's see if we've got... that'd be kind of a cool picture. So if he's like... kind of sitting here... He's got his arm right there. His leg. I don't know how well it's not showing up too well, is it? Okay, let me switch to a harder lead, or a softer lead rather. Get these big old arms. Small acorns. Nice. Pop out chat so I can see it better. You should see this setup. Okay, hold on a second. Let me move some stuff around on my desktop so I don't dox anything I've got going on here. Oh, 1 moment. So I've got my laptop set up right there with the YouTube broadcast. I've got this one in the middle, which is basically where I look at a bunch of code and stuff, but right now it's just got a couple network things set up, and then I've got this right here with you guys and a page of Jack Irons running. There we go. Make sure I got myself on screen here still. Yeah, cool. Okay. So right there. Trigger. So I noticed in a lot of other streams, one of the biggest questions people get asked all the time is about like where they learn to draw, or like the tools they use, things like that. When I first got started, I was just using mechanical pencils because I liked them the most. But this one right here I picked up on Amazon. I don't know if you can read this or not. Kuratoga. It's just a 0.5. I love this thing. No, I hadn't heard that yet, Humphrey. I think that'd be great, actually. I'd be down for that for sure. I'd love to talk with Chester about it. You know, it's funny. I've been a comic book fan for years. I'm terrible with remembering people's names, though. So, like, there are certain artists that I remember and I can recall, but there's a lot of artists that I totally forget their names, but I love their art. It's terrible. I'm bad about that. Okay, let's see. So anyway, like I was saying, this is a Kuratoga. I also use a couple different like brush pens and stuff. Like I've got a Pilot brush pen that I got here. I just upgraded to a Kuretake brush pen, which I absolutely love. These things are fantastic. Of course, you got the Copic multiliners. I picked up a couple of these at Comic-Con this year. But when I first started out, I was using a Pilot V-Ball. They're just these little, I don't even think I've got one anymore, but just a little pen that's got a nice little point on it, and the ink flows out of it really well. I was using that and Sharpies to do my art. And then, you know, just printer paper for the longest time, and then I started upgrading to actual comic book pages and stuff. And over time, it's developed into, you know, I've got a whole stack of sketchbooks that I haven't used yet, but it's a good time. Yeah, Pentel. Let me. I've got a bunch of Pentel quick pencils. I just got this guy recently, and I like the bulk on it, but I've got a bunch of the old Pentel pencils, and in fact, I still rock. Let's see here, under my desk. I think it's in here. Let's find out. Yeah. So I've got all these Pentel pencils still. The 0.3 is awesome, especially when I'm doing detail pencil stuff. But these guys right here, I think, I can't remember which one's which, but one of these I've had for about 20 years, and it still works fine. I can't remember which one it is now. This one with the red band on it, the reason I have it on the, you can see it right there, it actually has red lead in it, and so I use that for mocking up stuff sometimes. But I kind of gravitate to different types of pencils on a regular basis just because I want to try new stuff out, and then if I really like it, I stick with it for a while and then move around. Let's see. Probably going to need a ruler or something here. You know, I'll just use this guy. There we go. At least now I know where my lines are. So the Kuretake, I haven't been using brush pins nearly as long as a lot of other people, so I can't say for sure what the major difference is. For me personally, let me step back into my art real quick here. So one of the things I had a problem with the Pentel, and part of it is just the way I was holding the pen, was that all of my lines were coming out super thick. And it seemed to be, it was hard for me to have a lot of line control. And I think a lot of that was partially practice as well. Once I started practicing more with it, I definitely got more comfortable and was able to do smoother lines and stuff. But I felt like I couldn't really get the pressure control right with the Pentel. When I switched over to the Kuretake, let me see. I think these are where I started using it. Actually, here's a good example of it. You can see the lines are already a lot thinner and more precise. I was able to really control the line work a lot better. Part of it, again, was probably practice, but I felt way more comfortable with the Kuretake almost immediately. Yeah, here's another good example here. I mean, I couldn't have done that with the Pentel. Now maybe I could, actually. I don't even know if I have ink in this thing. Let's see. Yeah, it's almost dead. Yeah, see, now that I've been using the Kuretake more and I know how to control my hand a bit better, I probably didn't need to upgrade. But, yeah. Yeah, this thing's almost out of ink. Anyway. Some of it's also the way you hold the pen, because if the first thing I did, and one of the problems I had when I was first doing it, was just holding it like you'd hold a pencil sometimes, where you just get it and you just go for it. And the problem with that is that you have like the tip of it's just floating, and so when you press down, it's hard to keep that pressure on there. What you can do is use your fingertip as kind of a guide and only let the edge barely touch, and you can control the line weight a lot better. So with the Kuretake, for instance, you can get pretty even lines. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to it, especially if you're used to holding a pen a certain way for a long time. But I almost immediately, as soon as Dan told me, hey, try sliding your finger in a little bit more and getting closer to the end, that way you have better control over the tip. I mean, it was immediate. I was able to feel way more comfortable using it. I still suck at inking, but I feel way more comfortable with that pen. But yeah, these are just random exercises. Then I wound up drawing this guy's arm like really long. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna roll with it. Now he's got a huge arm and a little arm. Various practices. Let's see, what else? I've already shown some of these. So when Red Rooster first came on the scene, I was still practicing some of the sketching, and so I did this sketch of Rooster. And then a few days later, I wound up doing the Space Rooster. So you may have seen that if you're following me on Twitter. Again, the inks aren't great, but I had a good time doing this one. It was fun. And who knows, I'll probably wind up doing another one. Okay, back to the sketchbook here. Spoon! That is a really good question, Warren. I don't know for sure. I mean, considering this one was fairly cheap, I think I paid $8 for it. I imagine it's nylon. You know, I could probably look on Amazon. Let me check. Give me a second, I'll take a look for you. Let's see, Amazon, what do I have coming to me today? Do I have anything? Actually, I think the stuff I bought was on eBay. I also got a new mount. I don't know if I'm going to use this thing yet because it gets a little too close, but there's this phone mount that I was able to get for this knockoff Joby Gorilla Pod. And it works great, it just gets a little too close to everything. Right now I've got this little like bendy arm thing that you could sit in bed and watch your phone from or whatever, that's sitting over the top of my workspace. That works really well. I was hoping the Joby arm thing would work better, but it's just a little too close to my desk. I might have to switch things up a little bit. Let's see. There's my order. Search my orders. Kuretake. And then with the Kuretake, I'm not using the ink that comes with it. I'm actually using a slightly different brand here. Let me find it real quick. I think they're in here. Yeah. Nope, that's Pintel. Never mind. Where is it? It's called Carbon. Carbon ink. But anyway, it doesn't run when you, or smear when you put alcohol on it. It's like when you use Copics to color stuff, it doesn't affect the ink. Yeah, Platinum Carbon is what it's called. So yeah, let's see, Kuretake number 8 fountain brush pen, 688. And let's see what it says about it really quick. It has no description. Black, material type resin, that doesn't tell me anything. Apparatus pieces so that ink moves out to the brush fibers. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything. I imagine it's probably nylon for these. I could be wrong. Maybe the more expensive ones are sable, but I don't think that this one, being that price point, is. But who knows? Yeah, Platinum Carbon. If you look it up on Amazon, just look up Platinum Carbon brush. Let me see, what does it say? Just had it pulled up. Yeah, so the brand is Platinum, and it says Carbon ink cartridges. They're like $5 for a set. I think there's 3 or 4. There's 4 refills in it. Oh, that's cool. The text is actually showing up over the picture. I never noticed that. Nice. I haven't had any problems with it clogging. I imagine there's possibility for it, but I haven't heard any problems with it. And I think, just a little bit of warm water, you could probably rinse it out pretty well and wash the pen. You should definitely wash it between cartridge changes, though, just in case. I really like the fact that this is a whole Western shooter and he's using a revolver, straight up, normal stuff, but then he's got robots he's like gearing up against. Sci-fi Westerns are awesome. Have any of you guys checked out East of West? I stopped following it a little while back because I didn't have time to read the books and stuff, and so they were just collecting dust, and I didn't get a chance to really go through all of them. I'm probably going to go back and either pick up a trade or two, or maybe just read the ones I've got. But the first like 12 that I read were fantastic. Kind of like an end of the world story, future western kind of thing. Let's see. I don't recall if he smokes. Yeah, he smokes. Cool. Okay. I guess you can't be a cowboy unless you smoke though too, right? That knee is way too high. I'll have to adjust this. This probably needs to be down here somewhere. That's right, though. It's just a concept. It's kind of funny. I showed Nasser one of my pieces the other day. He saw the Venom, and he was immediately, "Hey, do you do sequentials? I got something we can work on together." Oh man. You know, as much as I do want to work with all these other guys, I really want to do my own at some point first. I don't know. We'll see, because obviously working with somebody like Nasser or the Brightwisers or whoever, I mean, any of these people, really, Chuck, a huge amount of exposure you can get, and then it'll just prop up whatever your next project is. But working with one of the established guys, I think would be a good idea to start. What I really think is cool are people like John Malin talking about how he wants to give back to the community almost immediately. So after he funds his book, he's going to reinvest a lot of the money back into other projects and trying to bring up other creators and giving them a platform. So paying people to do art, their stories and their books and stuff, and kind of make this platform a place that can foster kick Nasser, make this platform something that can really support more than just the big guys, and really grow that independent kind of movement that they've been pushing for. And I think that's awesome. I think it's a great way to grow the community and build a lot of goodwill, and I'm totally down for that. Alright, so these are just regular cowboy boots. Got some danglies. I feel like he needs spurs, though. He doesn't have spurs. What kind of cowboy doesn't have spurs? I'm gonna have to take that up with those guys. Okay, let's just get the anatomy fleshed out here so I know where stuff is. He's got that big old arm. This is going to have to change for sure. I'm going to have to pull this arm down to about right here in order for this thing to look natural. That's okay, it's just a sketch, right? Okay, well that's one mock-up. Yeah, it is a sad time, but I can't remember if I said it in a stream or if I was just talking with somebody. Hopefully you guys can't hear me drinking and swallowing like crazy like, you know, Uncle E. It's definitely a sad time for the industry, but there's a lot of hope, especially when you see the things that are happening. And, you know, with the blowback and the hate being thrown at Comicsgate right now, it's not going to last. Eventually people are going to tire of it. Eventually, you know, people's minds will hopefully be changed. But even if it's not, at some point you got to think people are just going to get tired of the same noise, and eventually the pushback is going to go away and people just aren't going to care. Hell yeah, it needs some Starfire. Yeah, you know, I do need to do a Pope Fire. I will try to do a Pope Fire. It won't be on this card, but we'll work something out. Okay, let's see. That one's okay. I'm not sure I'm sold on this. But yeah, the industry in general is going to change, and people's minds will either change or they won't. But I think there's a good enough following for this group, and I think that eventually it's going to grow, and creators will get their voices, and eventually we'll have a niche. You know, there's a niche market growing here. You know, Alterna, I was looking at their work the other day. I know they caught some flack recently too, but Alterna is doing amazing things with the industry. You know, offering books for $1.50. Granted, I know they're newsprint. But you look back to the books that you read when you first got into comics, you know, in the 80s and stuff, or whenever you guys were born. I was a kid in the 80s, so you know, I was picking up Punisher on newsprint, you know, Spider-Man on newsprint, and I've got a ton of books that I absolutely love, but they're cheap. But it doesn't matter because that's the stuff I loved. You're gonna promote me? Ah, you're awesome. So now I have to draw Starfire. Is that it? It'll be Star Irons. Okay, let's see. Let's do the classic cowboy kind of look here. Let's oh, that's cool. Thank you. What are we at now? We're already at 40 minutes. Wow. I'm just sitting here chatting it up and not sketching a whole lot. I need to get to work here. Looks like the mailman dropped something off. It's not for me, though. Yeah, Pope found us. That's cool. I'm glad. I'm glad people are finally kind of finding the stream and stuff. I hate to shamelessly promote, but I've been a little more forward lately, just kind of mentioning stuff in people's streams, like, hey, I'm out here trying to grow something. If you want to check me out, please do. I always feel really awkward when I do that, though. This nose is not strong enough. Looks like Squidward. And why Starfire is my favorite? Yeah, we can totally do that. No kidding. Drop a mic like, okay, I'm done with this piece. And then Pope being all, oh, there's only 900 more to go. Let's see, we need to make this kind of curve up a little bit. Like it's pushing the hat up some. See how many hours are left on that that poll. I think I had 4 or 5 hours left. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. We have 6 hours left. Jack Irons is at 47%, leading the pack against Graveyard Shifts at 31%. We've got 120 votes, so I am pretty sure Jack Irons is going to win. Unless Malin suddenly sees this and yeah, 6 the hounds on us. You know, I'm doing this the wrong way. He wouldn't turn his gun in on himself like that. I should know better. Holds no one hostage, she just smites. You guys got any plans for this weekend? I am getting the hell out of Dodge. I'm gonna go see some family finally. Although after seeing that flash piece that Art T. Bear, he posted it, I think it was last night or the night before. I think I'm going to take my my Wacom with me and try to draw one. I'm visiting. Either that or the iPad, I don't know yet. I haven't really colored much on the iPad yet, so I'm not sure if I want to risk it. Okay, this has potential. I think the nose still doesn't look right, but let's see. It's alright. Hey, dude, don't worry about it, Warren. It's fine. I love chatting about the stuff. I like helping people out, too. If you ever have any questions, I'm definitely not an expert on it, but I'll share any information I've got. What else can we do here? I think I need something a little more dynamic. Let's see. If I had a hand here. If I shorten his arm a little bit, pull it back to like right there. You know, it's funny when you do layouts and stuff. I sit here and I think about. I try to get a picture in my head of what I'm looking for first before I just put something to the paper. And sometimes I get really frustrated while I'm trying to do that. I can see it in my head pretty clearly, but the drawing just isn't going exactly the way I want. I hate it. Okay, this one's not working out the way I want. I might have to abandon it. Alright, let's skip that one for now. Let me just check messages really quick from work. I'm gonna have to bail out of here in about 10 minutes, I think. longer here. Draw something sexy. Like Nightwing. Yeah, Nightwing. I don't know, Nightwing talked trash about Batman, didn't he? Or was that wasn't... No. Which Robin was that? Body's all contorted. This is kind of a weird angle, but coming up to shoot somebody right here. Let's see. This leg here, it's really kind of going to be fish-eyed. Yeah, he only needs the one gun for now. Oh, art's on, huh? Yeah, I've used non-photo blue. I can't find my pencil anymore. I stopped using it. but yeah, it comes out okay. Well, heck, if Art's on, I've missed his last couple streams, so I'm actually gonna wrap up here anyway. I'm gonna head over there and check out what they're doing while I try to get some real work done here. Well, I mean, this is real work, but you guys know what I mean. Get some day job work done, and we'll see what happens with the poll today, and hopefully I'll be able to do one of these as an actual piece. Got a pretty good feeling though that's gonna happen. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and let's go see Art. See you guys.